Hey everyone, welcome to the 12th episode of Couch Cat's monthly podcast. I'm Paizen, this is Crazy Fi,
Hello.
and in these podcast episodes, we discuss everything that went down for the current month for SimpleMMO. So we're going over December, we're going over the patch notes that dropped during December, and also noteworthy news alongside those patch notes. But first and foremost, Crazy Fi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm ready to knock out this episode.
Yeah, it's probably
love
going to take us
these.
like 5 minutes.
Yeah, December was a light month. Everyone
Yeah,
was on vacation, including Mike, apparently. So,
yeah,
I mean, don't blame him. But,
yeah. You
so,
can't, you literally
uh,
can't, because everyone right now playing is on some sort of vacation too,
yeah. Yep.
including ourselves. But anyway, Crazy Fi, how about you lead us in? How about you start with the first patch note that we'll be
Sure.
covering today?
So, actually, this is the last patch of November that we didn't get to cover because it
Mhm.
came out after our November podcast was recorded. So, it was actually on November 29th. Version 11.41.2. Uh, Fun fact, I just found out how the game patch versions are numbered. It's major.minor.revision. So that was from the last podcast where we're trying to figure that one out. But anyways, to the patch. It added the ability to view other players, people's entire card collection. So remember, cards came out in November. It fixed the weekly and monthly task timer because those were off, which was kind of annoying. Uh, Added the waves task ability, so when you click on it, it quick links to your friends list, which is nice. And then added some more like legacy mode clarifications so that
Bleh,
people aren't confused.
bleh.
Um, and then removed the placeholder multi-select checkboxes on the storage space or page, excuse me, because they weren't supposed to be there. So that was a oopsie that Mike got rid of. Swept that under the rug real fast. And then a bunch of other fixes that,
Mhm.
quality of life. So it's basically just a quality of life update for the 29th of November.
Yeah, it's good unless you don't have friends yet, because then if you're going to do those wave tasks, then it's just gonna be a blank screen. You're gonna be like, wow, thanks
Yeah,
for reminding me, Mike.
I personally don't like it going to my friends list because I prefer going to the players, like all players, because I don't want to wave to my friends. They're already my friends. I want to wave to the strangers. Say hi
Okay,
to
you heard
them.
it here first. Stop being Crazy Fi's friend.
After everyone has added me like recently.
Yeah. All
Oops.
right. So the next patch note dropped on the 16th of December. It was
Yep.
version 11.42, and it was the biggest one of the month for obvious reasons. It's the Winter Holiday Event launch date for
Yes.
2022. So, of course, this game pretty much transforms during its seasonal events. There's a new location to step, and there's new event collection slash currency, and of course, there's unlocks. So there's avatars, sprites, food, you name it. And there's also ways to
Yes.
boost your energy points and quest points and what have you with the event currency without having to spend money on diamonds. And alongside that, mentioning diamonds, there's a diamond store sale. Probably one of the deepest ones you'll have experienced. And they usually hover around these seasonal events.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the next patch note. That was on 16 December. Alan, do you have anything you want to take note of for this section?
No, I don't. It's self-explanatory.
How
Holiday
dare
event.
you?
Woohoo!
How dare you? All right, what's the next one?
Next one is 20 December. So I was actually surprised this one came out. And I have a feeling maybe it was sitting in like Apple's side of the house, but
Yeah.
specifically 20 December version 11.43. It was only iOS updates.
Mhm.
So there are UI changes made in the iOS app. I don't play on Apple, so I have no freaking clue what those were. Did you notice anything, Ryan?
No, but I will say this: the Apple app is just amazing.
Okay.
Um, I love it more than when I was playing this on my phone with my old Pixel. So
Okay.
if
Wow.
it fixed something, I don't know, but it just has always been clean to me.
Okay. Well, it did about 4 or 5 other fixes in the iOS app. So it made it even better, I guess.
Yeah, it pays to be on top. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right, so that's it.
Yes.
That's it for the patch note rundown.
Yep.
Generally, this takes a lot longer, but we are blessed by the holiday. Pretty much essentially a months long holiday. So we'll take it.
Yeah.
But now let's move on to some noteworthy events.
Mm-hmm.
This first item carried over from the last podcast episode. It's the World Cup event continuation. We all knew as a community it would bleed through and run parallel with the winter holiday event. There was some skepticism, was like, is that a good idea? But it kept new players engaged, kept some people other than new players engaged with the collection of the cards and the card system. And then here came the winter event. So I guess they could survive next to each other.
Yeah, I will say I think this is the first time, at least I've seen, where two events have overlapped. But it was like 2 or 3 days, but still there was overlap there, and I thought that was interesting. I don't know if there's ever been in the history of SimpleMMO a time where events have overlapped before. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, it did no harm. It was just like double dip. It was kind of nice.
Yeah, it kind of, not to touch into the card side because we've touched that enough, but it kind of like opened up to us accepting, the player base accepting like the idea of like a micro event.
Yeah.
Like right before a major event.
Yeah.
And actually this was literally sandwiched between Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah.
So, and it did pretty good. I mean, no matter what you might think, it still kept a pretty consistent player base playing throughout
It did.
the last couple of months, November and December. So
Yeah.
The next item under noteworthy events is, of course, the big hubbub of the winter holiday event. The artwork was actually done by a different artist. Generally, it's done by Ubi these days, but this particular Christmas event was done by Red.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there was like there was no hype around it. Okay,
Yeah.
this isn't like League of Legends esports where teams are releasing like pretty cool roster PNGs or videos of picking up pro players out of a trash can. But yeah, we didn't get anything. So, what I want to hammer down with this is there were still players who did not know this, which is fair. Like maybe as a new player, I mean, do you really care who the artist is right now? You're trying to learn how to step, but
yeah, probably not.
There were still like kind of normal players we would see in global chat. They'd come to our stream, we'd be talking about it, or they'd read our article that we released or video, and they'd be like, there's a new artist taking over for the event, and it just kept happening. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty unfortunate. But that's all I have to say about that. Crazyfy, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to hammer in. We did an exclusive interview with Red. Mm-hmm. His in-game name is Red REDD 994. If you want to check him out and DM him and give him tell him how great he did. But yeah, we did exclusive interview with him. All about how the holiday event came to be with him being the artist, and it was actually very insightful. He talked about how Galahad Creative reached out to him and how that went and the back and forth, and he even explained why the NPCs are looking to the right and not to the left when you battle them, which is just a little pet peeve of mine, but it made sense once he explained it, and I was thankful that he explained it. So check it out. Highly recommend that interview.
Yeah,
I'm biased.
Yeah, because this is like Crazyfy's first interview in so long. Yeah, like he actually had time to do an interview, and I was like, all righty, bro, we're going in. Yeah, weapons hot. But yeah, shout out to Red, and shout out to anyone else who wants to do an interview from staff. Even temporary staff. I don't know what Red is now. Probably nothing. Anyway, let's move on to the next item under noteworthy events. And we had Mike coming on Reddit, the SimpleMMO subreddit, and doing an AMA. And it provided some general insight to 2023. He even answered my question specifically and many other questions that concern, the concern of the roadmap. Because if you look right now, if you even know there's a roadmap, there is.
Surprise.
Surprise. Did you know Mike used to blog too? Surprise.
Yep.
And it looks very bleak. And you can backtrack the progress of the roadmap and be like, the library wasn't on there, stepping parties wasn't on there, tons of stuff Yeah, sprinting, all that. Tons of stuff that changed the game, right? Or added mechanics to the game weren't on that roadmap. So
Right.
here's the hoping. Mike gave a little bit of a hint, hoping for January 2023 or so that we'd get a new roadmap.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that because we need it. It'd just be nice to see what's going on. And he did allude to, other than the roadmap, back end enhancements, whatever that means, probably coding, etc.
Yep.
And some other manipulations going on with current mechanics. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Crazy Five, do you have anything?
I'm excited. I'm excited for the next year. It seems like he's ready to go, and
Yeah.
a little teaser, but another project that I'm working on currently. But Mike, this year, I guess technically, because we're still 2022, January was his most busy month, where he put out 20 updates. So here's hoping next January is just as busy.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. That was a nightmare too, because we reviewed that when we came back in March of last year. One of our first episodes for the podcast was reviewing what had changed since we've been gone, and wow, that month alone sucked. It was good for the game, bad for us. Okay, for catching up. But yeah, so moving on to the next item, we have XSpy, his event that this year he's co-hosting with Churian, and it's the Best Players of SimpleMMO 2022. Now, this event's been running on for, I think he said like 5 years or something.
The game's only been out since 2018, so
yeah, I have him in text saying 5, but there's no way. Anyway, a long time, right? And he just recently handed it over to Churian to continue the event itself, and now they're back managing it together, kind of bridging the gap between him and the SimpleMMO staff team, whoever that might be, because we'll never know. And yeah, basically there's multiple categories, and the community can come together and nominate players through a discussion thread in the games and whatever discussion post category. And once they're nominated, they're pushed to a voting phase, which is live right now. You have till Jan 5th, I believe. I actually just released a video on this. If you go back a couple, like 1 or 2 videos, there's a video on this detailing the voting phase. Not to get into the weird things, but it's a player ran event for the community. Definitely support it. Definitely take a look, take a gander. Even if you're a new player and you don't understand who any of these players are, it would be cool to see how it's laid out so you can participate this coming year if you decide not to now. But we've had XSpy on the stream discussing the event, and he has expressed interest to come on. Actually, this is Alan's first time hearing it, to come on at a later date in a week or so to give us a back brief on this year's event, how it ran, what went into it, how he felt about it overall. So pretty excited to pick his brain with working so closely with staff with an event he created. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. And the last noteworthy event I wanted to announce is that while Crazy Five was away, I went a little overboard with inviting people on the stream. So a stream ago, last stream, you can find it in our streaming playlist, the Step and Chill stream playlist. I had like 9 guests on, which was fun. We had recurring our list of rotating co-hosts that we bring on. So we had King Cows, who he wasn't even supposed to be there. He barely showed up. We had Alec, of course. We had Hadu for the first time.
Nice.
And this was generally supposed to be Hadu's introduction to our community. And we messed that up because Hadu couldn't figure out his mic and his browser and whatever. And then also everyone else piled in. We had Dark, also known as Russell, on there. We had Alucard jump in. We had even Fred, one of our YouTube mobs, jump in. We had Ubi from the start, which surprised me because he's supposed to be in sleep. He needs to get his beauty sleep. We had tons of people rotating in the show, so it was very fun, very chaotic. I apologize for the levels of mic quality. I'm still shocked of Alucard's mic because when we had him on the show the first time, it was way better. But Yeah, it was fun. Oh, we had Limits as well. Sorry, I'm missing a couple people, but Limits was there too for most of it. Yeah, it was a good time. Hope to do it again. Chat was going wild. It was hilarious. But yeah, that was the last noteworthy event or item on that list that I had to discuss. Crazy Fi, do you have any closing remarks for? I guess this is the last podcast episode of the year.
Yeah, this
If
is
you
it
think about it,
of the year.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So do you have any closing remarks? Anything you want to say?
I mean, this has been a lot of fun. I can't wait for 2023. I know we're going to come out strong and knock it out of the park yet
Mm-hmm.
again. All the noteworthy things we talked about, absolutely, you could find on our blog, on our YouTube, on the streams, everywhere. We just love doing the content and getting creative with the community. I've been
Mm-hmm.
enjoying this. This has been amazing. So thank you.
That's amazing. I'm not going to add anything to that because I will mess it up. So good on you, Crazy Fi. And thanks to everyone for tuning in. Thanks to everyone who continues to support us through likes, subscribing to the channel, to engaging us within our Discord, to buying our merch that we just launched, which is pretty noteworthy. I don't know why.
Yeah, we forgot about that.
Yeah, hey, we got merch, everyone. Hey, but
Yeah.
for buying our merch, for talking to us in global chat, for just engaging with us in general, and yeah, we'll see you in the next podcast episode. We'll see you in the streams Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
And that's it. The last episode of the year.
What a banger. So
what a
small.
banger. What a banger, dude. 3 patch notes.
Yeah.
What a freaking thank you, Mike. All right, I'm Paizen. That's Crazy Fi. This is Couch Cat with our monthly podcast episode. Because we're not a podcast anymore. We're more than that. And we'll see you next year in the next month. It's so weird, right? Like, we're not going away. We're not. Anyway, we'll see you later. Peace out.
See ya.